Hey guys, welcome to the Weird Kids Podcast, Season 2, Episode 15. Today's date is August 11th. It's August 11th, 2017. With me tonight, I have my boy Jeff.
Hey,
We got Patrick,
Well,
and we have Cybers, aka Fernando.
I
Hey. Alright.
is anybody else gonna point out how weak Patrick's hello was?
hey,
I I can't be the only one who picked up on that. Hello?
Patrick, are you alive?
Debatable.
There it is.
Alright, so let's get this started. So, you want to start us off, Fernando, with the Capcom thing?
Yeah, sure.
Or we could try that new thing you wanted to do
Yeah,
and
so,
allow the others to read more about the articles while you discuss this.
yeah, so, we discussed and we're gonna try this out. We'll see how it goes, but, every start of the podcast, we're gonna just go over the list of games coming out for the next, 2 weeks. Preferably, mainly because, this will be posted up on YouTube a week after the stream, so give everybody a chance to engage on this
But if we do
portion.
the next 2 weeks, then next week we'll be talking about the same games again.
And that is why
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
that's why we discuss. Again, this is a work in progress, so I figured it'd be a cool segment to throw in. So, without further ado, here are the games coming out, at least for the following week. So, and I'm not gonna go over every single game, mainly the bigger titles, but a lot of these are actually bigger ones. So, on August 14th, you have StarCraft Remastered for PC. On PC, or on the 15th, you have a couple games out. You have Matterfall coming out on PS4. You have Troll and I coming out on Switch. You have Undertale coming out on PS4.
Eh.
You have Agents of Mayhem, which is on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And you have,
Agents
here's a
of
big
Mayhem.
one, Sonic Mania, big Sonic game coming out PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the same. I'm actually really excited about that game. I'm buying it day one. That's a
Oh,
day
what, the
one
new
purchase.
Sonic game?
Yeah,
I'm
it's like Sonic. It's the true Sonic the Hedgehog 4 game.
Uh-huh.
I can finally create my OC.
No, that's the wrong Sonic game. You're thinking of Sonic Forces.
Oh
Oh, that's not Sonic
So,
Forces?
Gonna create it in game.
Jesus. And then for the following week, we have on August 22nd, we have The Escapist 2, PS4,
Oh!
Xbox One,
Huh.
and PC. Uh, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Episode 3 from Telltale. I can't even say their name.
Telltale.
Right. PS4, Xbox One, PC, PS3, 360, and I'm not even reading iOS, but I just did. Minecraft Story Mode, the complete adventure coming.
Alright, you can skip that one.
Damn.
You could say that's coming out for the Wonder Swan for all I care.
Hey man, that's a big game for some people. You have Thimbleweed Park on PS4. You have Uncharted: The Lost Legacy on PS4.
Is that the one where you're the girl?
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna. It's a DLC for Uncharted 4, but it's also its own game. Like you can buy it separately. You don't have to have Uncharted 4 to play it.
Hmm.
This is also something I can't wait
Like
to try.
Blood Dragon or Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Yeah. Um, you got F1 2017, PS4, Xbox One, PC. This is on the 25th. And the next two games are also on the 25th. Madden NFL 18 for all you football people.
Oh boy!
PS4,
Sports.
Xbox One. And then last but not least, you have Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy. PS4, Xbox One.
Is this
which
Naruto 27 the video game or 28 the video
It's-
game?
It's
Nate
Naruto
really
Ninja
did
Storm.
thing.
It's Ultimate Ninja Storm 1, 2, and 3 in one package, and I think 4 if you get like a certain edition. I'm not sure, but yeah,
I would
those
like
are-
to say that there's not a single game in that list that I give a shit about. But there are
Damn.
quite a few that I actively don't give a shit about.
Oh,
Not just passively, I actively do not give a shit. Like,
Hey,
everybody knows how I feel about Undertale. Fucking disgusting.
Hey, it's cool. It's coming out on PS4 though. More people get to try it out, I guess.
Patrick, I have a question for you. I don't think I've ever talked to you about Undertale. What are your thoughts on Undertale?
It's a cool indie game. It's got the same problem as many other things, though. The
Well,
fandom developed stage 4 melanoma.
Day fucking one.
my
Day
God.
fucking one.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, those are your game releases for
All
the
right.
next
Talking
2
about
weeks.
it.
I don't know how you get stage 4 skin cancer, but they did it.
They went from cancer-free to stage 4 in 12 hours flat.
Cancer free to 30 cartons an hour.
I fucking oh god
It was
damn.
an amazing transformation.
All right.
The thing is, like, my problem with that game has nothing to do with the game itself. That's the worst thing. Cause I feel like if I would have sat down to play it before I was made to hate it, I would have liked it.
Just play the game and ignore everybody
No,
else.
fuck you. It's too
No.
late for that.
Be a
I
sensible human being and ignore
I
the
am
fandom.
being a sensible
this is
human
a
being.
good. I think this is a good thing to actually talk about because we always talk about this amongst ourselves in the Discord, but I don't think we've ever touched on this in the
Yeah.
podcast. We've hinted at it during the podcast, but I know I haven't played it. Jeff hasn't played it. Patrick, you haven't played it either, right?
I have.
You have played it. Fernando, have you played it?
Undertale?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
All right, you have
Not
played.
only have I not played it, but I am actively not playing it.
All right. Memes aside, I was gifted
I'm
it.
not memeing. I'm not even fucking joking, Scott.
Ironic memes aside,
I'm not being
Jordan-
ironic.
Jordan gifted me Undertale, and I played a little
Oh,
bit of it,
that's
and I was
alright.
like, this is kind of fun, and then I took a little break from it because I was like, I want to play some other stuff, and then during that time, that like 3 month period, like as soon as I put down the controller or whatever, all I remember was everybody talking about it, and then it was one of those examples where you're around it so much that it's no longer new to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It got shoved
you're
down my throat in the Discord,
Not-
at school,
not
at work.
I would not say not shoved down your throat. Like I would say it was just around me so much that I became very numb to it, and I lost interest in it relatively quickly.
Okay, here's the thing. My thing with Undertale is I know more about it than games that I've beaten, and I've actively avoided playing it. It fucking disgusts me.
Sorry, hardcore Undertale fans, if we are offending you.
Like I said, it has nothing to do with the game.
Just
Nothing to do with the game.
the people that blew
It's
it up.
your fault. The
Oh,
people who
no.
like it. It's not about the game, it's about you.
Damn.
Oh my god.
All right, Fernando, what is your experience on it?
Well, I didn't get too far in it. The music is phenomenal. From what I've played of it so far.
Your mom is phenomenal.
And with that, we hope you enjoyed this episode. We're canceled now. Anyways, so
I'll cancel you.
Twitch is gonna ban us. So I
You weren't saying that when you tried to kiss Phil.
God.
Got
So
him.
the thing is with Undertale is that I've never played like Earthbound before, so I actually really like Undertale, and it's one of those games that makes me actually want to go play Earthbound. I like the combat's a little weird because it's just different. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not turn-based first of all. Is it? It is kind of.
It's kind of it's an art.
It's
It's
not like
It breaks-
RPG.
It's supposed to be turn-based, but it breaks that pretty often.
Yeah, so and what kind of made me stop playing Undertale is the fact that you can go through the whole game and not kill a single thing, and I feel like in a game like Undertale, within the battles, to figure that out is like a puzzle in itself because you have to do certain things to make sure you don't kill the enemy and you let them live. Apparently, if you let them live, you get one ending versus like 5 other ones.
Or
So
you
I don't know.
just murder everything like a true man.
I mean, you could do that. I don't know. The open-endedness in that game kind of made me not want to play it for a bit because I'm kind of like, what's the right way to play here? And I don't know.
I feel that.
It kind of bothers me. I don't like when games do that. When they give you, like, I like games that give you choices and shit, but
But you still like it to remain somewhat linear.
yeah, and maybe okay, maybe Jeff has a point here. The thing is with the community, I've heard people say, "Oh, the only true way to play is if you don't hurt anybody," and it's just like, why am I having so many options to do it the other way around? Like, it's a little too open for me, and I get a little worried about that. I don't want to fuck up, even though I wouldn't fuck up because that's what the developers want. They want me to do my own story, but maybe I want to be spoon-fed a story, you know?
I feel that.
Spoon feed you my story, bitch.
All right, Patrick.
What-
Spoon feed us your story about
How about we
Undertale.
spoon-feed this story about Capcom.
That was the most forced transition ever when we
That
weren't
was-
even at that
We
point
didn't even
yet.
we didn't even get to ask Patrick his opinions and
Oh,
thoughts.
Yeah,
on it.
like that was the worst possible.
I was trying to
segment.
do a good segue. Leave me alone.
Okay,
Anyways,
you
Patrick, what's
tried to
your-
do a
what is
segue,
your-
but it was just one of
Patrick!
those shitty hoverboards.
Just
Don't
shut up, Patrick. God damn. What
Jesus
the
Christ.
fuck?
Jeff, don't put your mouth up to the mic. It's
Just
not
Patrick,
video.
go.
What did I think about Undertale? Well, it was interesting. Definitely not hardcore RPG. It's more of a puzzle game and an RPG had a baby. Maybe it got dropped in his head a couple times. I can't really tell. But it's definitely enjoyable, and if it's on sale, probably worth the money. I'm not sure how much it goes for nowadays, but probably just get it on PC rather than PS4.
Or hope for a Switch version. I
Maybe
mean, that'd be lit if it were. I'd buy it again if it was on the Switch.
maybe not. Maybe not that one. But yeah, I mean it was an interesting game. So if you got the extra cash, I guess play it or don't play it. I mean, it's whatever. It's your money. It's been out for years. If you haven't got it by now, I guess you probably won't. So
All right. Fair enough.
Considering it's one of those games that would play on a fucking toaster. Like, my PC's not good enough isn't really a good excuse for that game.
It's
yeah,
just,
if-
I don't wanna
if
play
you
this
had the
game.
money to get it, you could probably get it.
Yeah.
If you haven't gotten it by now, it's not gonna get got. So
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now you wanted to talk about the Capcom thing?
Yeah, unless we had more to say about Undertale.
No, I think that's about it.
Fuck it.
So I mean, Capcom came out with a pretty interesting statement. So as they recently released Street Fighter 2 something Ultra Edition for the Switch, pretty much like a remake slash not a remake, a remaster of the original like Street Fighter 2 or whatever. And it sold over 500,000 units. And that's a lot for a arcade port of that caliber. That is insane. And because of the success of this, they said that they are now starting to prepare multiple Switch version games. So they came out with this game. They were like, all right, well, we're not sure if we're gonna release games for the Switch, but let's make this, and it blew up. And now they're like, okay, we'll make more games for Switch now. So I thought that was pretty interesting, personally.
I'm not sure why it's such a hard concept to understand that if you make a game that on a console that has the power of a normal console but is portable, it's gonna be popular.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that. Like, my thing with this is, people are gonna hate me for this, but I don't care. I actually think this game sold so well is because there's not a lot of games to begin with. Like,
Probably also.
I really, I feel the same way with ARMS. I feel like and even my friend, our friend Evan, who was a big ARMS player, he hosts Up in ARMS, you should check it out. But he even agrees with me that a lot of these games on Switch that would normally do poorly or mediocre at best everywhere else, sell like gangbusters because there's not really a lot to play on the system.
Yeah, that was my point. I was gonna say there isn't much out for the Switch right now, which is why it probably did so well.
People are hungry.
Yeah, I could be wrong. It could be people that it could be because the resurgence of fighting games relatively late. When did I start to see this? It was like I would like to say there's more people in the fighting game community than there previously were, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I feel like that could play a role in it. That's the only other hypothetical I could think of. But I feel like it's more so because the Switch has so little content for it right now. That's my opinion. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. You're fine. Yeah, I agree. I think the same thing. And my thing is, and I want to get your guys' take on this because me and again, me and Evan discussed this, and we kind of disagree on this. I don't like this situation where the Switch is in where we're gonna start getting ports of shit. Like, I get it. And here's the thing. Let me back up a little bit. The thing about the Switch that makes it really awesome is that it's completely different from everything else. It's just a portable system. So if for example, an indie game came out like Sonic Mania, that's not really an indie game, but Sonic Mania is coming out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. All like Xbox One, PS4, and PC, pretty standard. But what makes the Switch version special? You can take it wherever the hell you want. So that makes me want to take it there. But then again, you have developers making ports of games, and it bothers me. Like Super Meat Boy is getting ported to Switch. That just got announced recently.
Okay, in that game's defense, a lot of games like that would get ported. You're not going to see a difference. A port, like literally taking a game from PC to a console, is going to be a port.
Oh, no, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I rather there just be new games. Like, for example, there was a tease. I don't remember the name of the studio, but they teased a screenshot of Bayonetta on the Switch. And people were like, "Oh, give us Bayonetta 1 and 2 on Switch," and I'm just like, "Why? Why not? Why not ask for Bayonetta 3? Like, you know what I mean?"
Here's
like,
the thing: a port doesn't take really that many resources, it's not dev teams who do ports, so it's not like they're taking away from games that are being made. It's just making more available for the system.
For some developers, it doesn't take.
Almost all of the porting processes for most games is what's the word?
Outsourced.
Yes,
Some, but not all.
almost all. Most. It is very rare for someone to do a port in house.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. Like I feel like it's not at that high, that low of a number that people do it in house. I feel like there's more people that do ports in house, but either way,
Typically, if a port is done in house, it's because it's not really a port because it's getting released on that. Like, technically, even a port is just like if most, like, say, most games are developed for console, so most PC games are technically ports.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, for a small indie studio like that that's making Super Meat Boy, I'm sure that's the team that they're working on porting that game over.
I'm pretty sure Super Meat Boy made quite enough bank to be able to hire someone to port off of Super Meat Boy and however many other games they made.
I mean, well, at that point, I guess, my side, your side, like, we won't actually know. Like, obviously, developers are going to be like, hey, this is how we're porting it. But either way, I just hope now that this game sold a lot on Switch that, more games will be shown and made. And it seems like Capcom's on the boat, and let's hope more developers do the same. That's pretty much it.
Actually, you want to know something? Just thinking of the term porting. You know what else is technically a port?
What?
Pokken Tournament on Wii U. It's a port of an arcade game.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like that's a little different though.
No, it's not.
It is different because one, that arcade game was only in Japan.
It's
Number
still
two.
a port. It's still.
I know, but
How does your argument apply there?
It's still a port, but like my argument applies that it's simply an arcade game in Japan only. Like there are many people. When Pokken Tournament came out in America, that was considered a new game. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
Not really. It was considered a port of the arcade game.
How long was Pokken Tournament out in Japan?
It's a new game, and I
Because I didn't know it even existed until like.
Well, that's the thing. either way, it's in America. It is considered a new game that has not been released in here before.
But that
Never
doesn't
been.
make it a new game.
Okay, at that point, we're arguing like the philosophy of what this new
No.
game. Like,
We're
the
really
term-
splitting hairs if we get down to
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Well, you get what
We're
I'm trying.
splitting hairs super hard right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm
Can we
just
get a
dissecting
conversation
Fernando's argument.
It's. I mean, I'm just pointing out what the general consensus is on a new game. That's it. Like, I'm not trying to get into the weeds of specifics of what it is, but I digress. Yeah.
All right. My opinion on this, the whole porting thing is, it's a port. That's it. That's really all I have to offer.
Nice, Scott. 2017.
That's really all I have to say. It's a
I mean,
port.
you're right. I mean, it's a good game too. You know.
I mean, if people are willing to pay for a portable version of a game they already own, then
That's a,
why?
yeah.
And when it doesn't really take that much work to port either. Like, Nintendo went out of their way to make it easy to port to the Switch. It's why it has Unreal support and all those other different engines that support it, because Nintendo wanted to make it easier.
And that's another thing. Like the fact that some of these games are coming to Switch makes me think twice of, oh wait, I actually might want to buy this again because it's portable now, and I can literally lay down on my ass in bed and play these games now.
And another
And
thing about it,
I'm only. I was gonna say I'm down to throw in $10.
You see, my thing about it is, and I've said this before on the podcast, is that I'm not willing to spend. If I already have the game, and I enjoyed playing it, why would I spend another $60, I don't know, $40, whatever, buying another version of the game on a console that I can bring around? Granted, it's the accessibility. It's more, you're able to play it whenever, but I just don't. I wouldn't do it.
I mean, yeah, and I mean that is true. That
It's
some
a
people
smart
have
bit.
just different.
It's also a smart business move by Nintendo making it accessible to port, because say people already have these games, they're playing them elsewhere. But if people rebuy these games on the Switch and start playing them on the Switch instead of on their other consoles, then they're in Nintendo's ecosystem more.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're more likely to buy more Switch content because of that.
I mean, like someone like me, I think when I think of the Switch, I think of someone like me that I primarily do most of my video games on PC, mainly because that's where the better versions of all these games come out for the most part. I get all my indie games, all my third-party games on PC. But then the Switch happened, and now, for example, a game like Yooka-Laylee, a game like Sonic Mania, I'm like, oh wait, there's a Switch version coming out. I normally would get these games on PC, but I could take these games on the go. So I feel like not just me, a lot of people are like, you know what? I'm not gonna get it on PS4. I'm not gonna get it on PC. I'm actually gonna get it on Switch because it's, again, portable. That's the whole point, and I think that is a smart thing. So that's what I have to say about that.
Ouch, my knee.
I hope you're okay,
Just
Patrick.
attack my desk with my knee.
Don't do that. That's not good for you.
All right, I think has everybody said what they wanted to say about it? Because I don't have much to offer about the port situation. I
I
And-
was offering some commentary.
yeah, that's
I wanted to go deeper into breaking things down and then building them back up, but I got cut off while still breaking things down.
Do you want to do that for a little while? Like, what did you want to break down?
All right. So the concept of a port, when you think about it, it is just a game that was originally for something else,
Yeah.
being made available in something else. That's the reason why I went for Pokken, was because it was originally an arcade game. It was released. Its original platform was arcade. All right. So then the Wii U version, which most people think of as the definitive version of the game before DX was released, albeit more people considered it a new game, it was still in its essence a port, and people still bought it even though it wasn't the original version of the game. So using that as an example, then that port got ported and people are still buying that port when you think about it. Now, I've kind of lost track of my main goal point with this when we shifted things. But when it comes down to it, is a port is just making something available that wasn't previously available to someone. So even if you may not want to buy that port, there's someone who did not buy that game who was suddenly able to.
I didn't look
Like,
at it that way. That's true.
That's true.
The entire idea of a port is to make something someone created
More accessible.
exactly.
Hmm.
So that's why Pokken is such a good thing to use, because the original arcade game wasn't incredibly accessible to the point where the vast majority of people didn't know it existed.
I would say actually that to all the Wii U games actually, like
Yes, because
Mario
the Wii
Kart
does
8.
not have a massive install base, whereas the Switch already has a huge install base and is constantly growing.
I forgot the Wii U existed, to be honest.
I mean, dude,
A lot of people
thought
did.
The Wii U was a Wii. Dude, the Wii. I don't want to go on a tangent with that one, but yeah, like, yeah, there are people that still used the Wii when the Wii U was dying. There are people I know today that still use a Wii. But yeah, I agree with Jeff completely. They're porting. I love it, but I hate it. But that is true. That there's a lot of games that people haven't played before that now they get a chance to, try
And
them out.
like you said that the PC versions are the best versions of games, but almost every PC version of a game is a port.
Yeah, it's just optimized where you can like turn things up a little bit more.
Which that's not in the original game. That was added when it got ported most of the time by an external studio. That's why a lot of times PC ports come out terrible, because they don't go through the full playtesting by the developers. They just
that's
get
true.
ported by the porting team.
But then other times, to argue that, and other times the version is way better than the console version. It can go both ways.
Yes, but what I'm saying is it's because it's ported. That's the only reason there is a difference.
How long have we been
Some-
talking about ports? I feel like we've been talking about
while.
ports. Yeah. All right.
Let's move on.
Do you want to send it off with
My
your closing
favorite port
statement?
is a USB port.
My favorite port
Hee
is...
XD.
I don't know.
Do you have an actual send off, Fernando?
Well, I was gonna say, I was gonna do a segue, not a send off.
All right, let's
I
segue.
guess- All right. Well, I mean, I'm glad I didn't sue Jeff for his opinion, but someone is suing Nintendo.
Damn.
Come on, guys. Come on. Cut me some slack.
I'm not gonna. If it's not funny, I'm not gonna laugh. I'm sorry.
I thought that was hilarious. I mean, do you guys want me to bring this up?
Yeah, talk about it.
Segue,
Alright.
but bring it up.
I just feel bad if I'm talking too much. Please stop me. But okay. So news story number 2. Nintendo's getting sued over design of their detachable controllers. They are being sued by a company known as Game Vice, and I'm reading this off CNBC. Game Vice claims that the controller sort of switch infringes on their patent. So what's Game Vice, you may ask? Well, they make video game controllers for pretty much tablets, smartphones. And right now, they are asking Nintendo to pause production and stop selling the Switch. Which is not gonna happen. It really just is not gonna happen.
How
it
big of?
could.
All right, I have a question. Knowing the scale of Nintendo, could they possibly take this L and not go and not be hit hard at all? No.
If they
Not pause production. I mean, just keep going. What if they're just I'll pay you money?
No, they can't.
If they settle, yes, they can take the L by settling.
Yes, that's what I
They
mean.
cannot afford to lose this lawsuit.
No, I see what you're saying, Scott. That if they accept the lawsuit but keep going, then they would have to pay royalties most likely. But
And they
I'm
are
not
not
even.
making enough of a profit on the Switch. Not
And
with the
another
hardware.
thing, and another thing is, I don't even think it works that way. Like, I think under a certain law, if for example, I owned a copyright, like I owned a right to something. If you started making it, it's not like in some cases, yeah, if you keep making it, you can pay me royalties. But I feel like in other cases, it will be the law to stop making that product because you're pretty much stealing, even if you're getting a royalty. So I'm not a lawyer. I don't think any of us are, but either way, Nintendo can't afford that. I mean, they can, but they don't want to and shouldn't.
Here's the thing: their product is vaguely similar, but honestly, what it comes down to is the key difference in this lawsuit. If it goes to a lawsuit, is going to be the difference between the controllers. Now, when you look at the Joy-Cons, which I'm holding in my hands right now, they are designed as part of a larger whole. They lock into the Switch itself. They are two pieces of a three-piece, whereas the Game Vice is just a controller that locks into a separate device. That's going to be the key thing in this lawsuit, because what they're claiming is that it allows to connect controllers to a tablet, which the Switch is basically a tablet, but it's to a external tablet, whereas the Joy-Cons are a part of the Switch. So if Nintendo can argue that point, they will win this lawsuit.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a picture in Weird Kid chat. You want to show it?
Yeah, I'll show it. My entire argument to this is Game Vice who.
Yeah.
That's literally my argument, because it's a very, I mean, granted they have enough ground to like,
Device net worth.
they have,
Let's see what Google has to say.
they do have the right to be upset, because it does look a lot like it, and if they do have a patent on the design, can't really argue that. But what?
No, continue.
Oh shit! I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, I guess. Do you remember?
No, I
So,
don't.
I'll
Just
give a
go.
bit.
It'll come
so
back.
I'm just gonna read a little bit more so we can kind of get a better understanding of this. So the lawsuit filed by I'm reading this right again off of CNBC. Claims the design of the Switch, which uses two controllers called Joy-Cons, that can slide into the computer onto a tablet computer to allow for portable gaming, infringes on at least one of the family of patents it owns. So one of the company's products called the Game Vice, so that's actually the name of the product. And as Scott can show in the picture I posted, it pretty much, you slide it onto an iPad or like an Android or an Apple device, and it pretty much allows you to have physical inputs for an iOS or Android game. And I feel like there's a couple of people that do that. I'm not sure, but it's that's their take. They're like, hey, no, that we did this first. But then again, I feel like there's a difference between you sliding on your random controller, like your version of a controller, to another person's product.
It's third party. It's gonna be a little sketchy every time. Like no matter.
Versus you creating a product. Apple
Like
created
I said,
Apple created the tablet, but they're creating the controller versus Nintendo creating everything. You know, like that's where I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect.
like I said, the key for this lawsuit is to differentiate between the Joy-Cons being two parts of a larger whole, whereas the Game Vice is its own separate entity. That's going to be the clincher in this lawsuit. If it goes to that,
Alright, hold
it's
on.
likely.
What's up, Patrick?
Let's have a vote. Does anybody think that Game Vice is actually gonna win?
No.
Oh hell no!
Okay.
I might be a little. I might
I
be.
think it's going to happen. Oh, sorry.
I might be a little. I think this conversation would go better if we had someone that would think that Game Vice could possibly win. So I'm going to take I'm going to try and be that point.
Yeah,
Here's
you're
what
gonna call the Game Vice owner?
I could try.
On season 2, episode whatever, we have
You're about the
guest
only
star.
Game
Game
Vice.
Vice.
Here's what I expect to happen. All right, what I expect to happen is Game Vice is probably just going to settle out of court for a lump sum from Nintendo, which will probably be around $2 million, because the Switch sales have brought in a whole hell of a lot of money. And honestly, I don't think Game Vice is doing too hot. Every time I see them in stores, they are marked as clearance. So
You've seen
honestly, Yeah, they have them at Best Buy and Fry's.
I don't see them in
Uh,
any stores.
Yeah, I've seen them. And so honestly, they probably are just like part of it for Game Vice has to be they're just trying to get the money. So I wholly expect them to settle. I don't think they're standing up on principle here. So I don't see them going through with it all the way.
Not to mention, I feel like, I don't know. I don't think any of us know, but if you do, please let me know. That's like their lawsuit against Nintendo. It's like someone who created. I'm trying to think.
So
It's like Sony coming out and saying, yo, we're gonna sue Microsoft and Nintendo. They came out of a controller with 2 joysticks. You know, like I feel like it's a little too broad here. I mean, it's a stretch. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
I honestly think that their patent probably does have something to do with what the Switch's patents are.
Yo, these
Here's the
shits
thing,
aren't
though.
cheap. These shits are not cheap.
How much is a Game Vice?
So they range from, all right, so the lowest priced one I've seen so far is $65. Hold on. No, $55 going all the way up to $100.
It's not that expensive. I thought you were gonna say like $250.
That's still expensive.
what
How
they
how
are-
much are Joy-Cons?
They're
They're
around $80 for a pair.
See, it's not, they're, Joy-Cons are expensive.
uh,
All right?
then
So
you
if
got
you're
quality and testing behind them.
true, this is third party, but their website looks official AF, so
Yeah, and they're on the Apple Store. Here's the thing, though.
like that
The
hasn't.
Joy-Cons have a lot of different features in them, considering how small they are. They have HD Rumble, which is a technical feat in and of itself, really, when you think about it. They have an NFC reader in the left Joy-Con. They have an IR camera in the right Joy-Con, in addition to a vast array of motion sensors. So the Joy-Cons being $40 a piece really makes a lot of sense when you think about the tech inside. Each of them is an individual thing.
Can I get a schematic of the Game Vice? Like,
my
what the
God.
fuck is it made of that warrants the
Okay.
price tag?
Based on what, okay, obviously none of us have one of these, so we can't truly tell. But based on looks alone, which you can't completely judge something by, it looks legit. It looks something that's quality based. Like I'm looking at the Game Vice website, it looks.
Yeah,
It looks good.
I want to point something out. It looks as though Jeff was right. It is one entity, and it just you slide your fucking iPad into it, like a fucking
it's getting-
old Sega Genesis cartridge.
It's like you're putting your dick in
Yeah,
on one,
cartridge.
like in the vajayjay, but then you're putting it up the butt too.
Wow, that was.
What? That was
We literally went from intelligent conversation to poopy butt, penis, and vagina joke.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was just maybe
Oh.
that's the Switch.
You did save yourself with that.
Maybe it's the Switch because because the Switch it's meant to be together. I guess. Never mind. Moving forward, schematics.
So,
The thing. Oh, sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
When it comes down to the Game Vice, it's a separate device. It is a separate device that requires something else to operate. It's plastic. It is a Bluetooth controller and it doesn't have any gyroscopes or anything. It relies on the phone to have all of that in it. So honestly, compared to the Joy-Cons, that price point really isn't, in comparison. It's not really valid.
I mean,
I
what
mean-
I wanted to bring up too was the fact that we've heard this kind of shit before with Nintendo, where people try to sue them. Remember, there was something with the Wii. I actually think they lost that one. My point is, Nintendo's been sued a lot, and my understanding is the majority of times they win. They've actually lost here and there, but they have won. And when they do lose, it's not even like the end of the world. I feel like because
Yeah.
the lawyers, Nintendo pays their lawyers, I'm sure, a shit ton of money for moments like this. So
I have a theory, actually.
What?
If you think about it, in YouTube a lot, there are lawyers who charge for people to sue for copyright to get easy money. What if one of those lawyers was like, "Hey, I saw your product. You want to sue Nintendo?" Just to try to get money. I wouldn't
That's
be
true.
surprised if that happened.
That's true.
Money wise, I don't
That's
think
like
there's any.
90% of the big corporate suing things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have no doubt that's what happened.
yeah. Exactly.
and why now? Like,
Because they probably just discovered the product and were like, hey,
I'm sure my
stuff takes a
no,
while.
I'm sure.
here's what I think about it. I don't mean to cut anybody off, but I kind of want to say this before I forget it. So here's my thing about it. It was probably something that was in the works for a while. They're trying to. They probably already done a lot of research saying that this is what they're gonna do, this is what they're not going to do, and they have a game plan for how this is gonna go down. That's my opinion on it. And I'm sure Nintendo has been thinking about this for a while as well, just in case this does happen. Because if you're in big corporate, like in their shoes,
You look this shit up.
you look ahead quite a while. I'm sure you wouldn't just go one step at a time.
When did the come out?
You wouldn't just go one step at a time. You would literally be looking years down the line because money depends on it. That's my opinion on it. So I think both these corporations have been ready for a situation like this.
Game
Yeah.
Vice. When did Game Vice even like become a thing?
Let me check. Let me just
Because
look at.
Nintendo, the way consoles makers they do their odd like what's R&D.
Game
do-
Vice's official Twitter has been active since October 2013.
Yeah, so it's safe to assume they've been around since early 2013, maybe late 2012. So the Switch came out 2017. So I actually feel like the Switch was already being thought of in R&D probably around 2011, 2012.
That was
Wait,
like when the Wii U came
No.
out.
Yeah.
There's no way it was.
Yeah,
already
it
out.
says
No,
it.
you'd be surprised, my guy.
From this-
a lot. What?
No, go on. I'll say it
When
afterwards.
it comes to R&D on systems, they start as soon as one comes out. Even if they have a team, wait, listen. Even if they have a team of like 3 or 5 people, they're already working on the next thing. And then eventually, over the years, that thing grows and grows. But Nintendo, that same with Xbox, same with PlayStation, they all think way ahead. So I'm sure they were thinking about this. Maybe it wasn't a physical thing yet, or a prototype wasn't made by then. But
Here's
either
another
way.
thing. There's no way they would have had patents filed at that point in time, which is what's more important here. It doesn't matter whether or not they were working on
that's-
it.
I mean, I don't even know when the Switch patent was made.
I believe Switch patents started leaking in around late 2014, early 2015.
I'm
Even
not talking
then,
about
they
when
were
it
vague.
leaked. Not when it was leaked. When it was
They were.
wait.
Here's the thing: they only were leaked when they were made because people would watch patent offices,
Yeah.
and because it's all public information. So really, it's not really getting leaked. It's
Okay,
It's-
I was gonna
goes
ask
up.
that.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like that's how a lot of movies work as well.
Patents are public, right? To everybody, like I can go look up
Yes.
any
Yeah, you
patent.
can. Yeah.
Okay, so then yeah.
How would a
Okay.
private patent work? Question mark.
Oh, what, Patrick? What'd you say?
How would a private patent work?
If you get it to work, that's some sly shit, and you're an asshole for doing it. I'll tell you that much.
Good point. Good point. Good point. Well, then there you go. So it seems as though the Game Vice was a thing first before Nintendo made, detachable controllers. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm not worried about Nintendo. But that's where I stand. But I won't actually be surprised though if Nintendo loses in this.
Yeah.
Because looking at it from both sides, I could see it, but I could also not see it. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure there will be an update on this story.
If they do lose it, they better pray to some god. They better bring Ubisoft on and start selling Ghost Recon Wildlands, the best-selling game of 2017 so far.
The fuck?
Wait,
Oh my
really?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Depression intense.
Right? How sad is that?
Wait. What?
Yeah.
That's the.
I'm almost positive Ghost Recon Wildlands is the best-selling game of this year.
I'm gonna use the really trustworthy charts right now.
Dead silence. While he's investigating, is there anything else anybody else would like to say? Patrick? You have nothing else to say?
Lawsuits are crazy. Patent law's dumb. Burn the world.
Fair enough.
It's my plug for Anarchy.
Oops, my anarchy symbol. Jeff, anything else?
Oops,
Not yet. I was doing some research on the game
No.
while we were talking.
Just to chime in real quick.
What's up?
Top 5 games. I'm not gonna go all of them. First place right now for 17. Is Horizon Zero Dawn, 3 million. And in number 5, it's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
There we go.
What are the ones
Top
Oh, wait.
5. That's still
Hold
sad.
On, hold on, wait.
What's up?
No, I'm gonna eat my words. Hold on. Let me do some calculations here.
Let me do some calculation.
Did Resident Evil 7 come out on Xbox One?
I have no idea. All right.
I'll tell you.
While you're still doing that, let's talk about
I-
lawbreakers.
I've got one last thing about the Game Vice.
What?
Do you remember the WikiPad?
No.
Shut up.
It was a tablet designed for gaming, and that was the company that made that is actually the company that makes Game Vice.
Yeah, I was reading that as well, but I have no idea what the WikiPad is.
Oh, it was a failure. Don't worry about it. It's literally useless. It was
Ouya
one of the
2.0.
earlier
Wow,
NVIDIA
wow.
Tegra devices.
Failure.
Yeah, it was a horrible failure.
Damn. All right.
But that company's still alive. They're the ones making the Game Vice, and the Game Vice was announced in 2013, and the company's been around since at least 2012.
All right. Well, I think that's about it,
Yeah.
to be honest on that. So, who here has played Lawbreakers?
I have.
You have. You are the only person. I have not played it.
I'm sad. I'm actually sad.
Why? So,
Is that game?
Cliff Blazinski says he's not worried about Lawbreakers' slow start.
Yeah. So
Who's
What-
the studio that did Lawbreakers?
Scott, maybe you want to give a little background while I do my little adding.
Yeah.
Give a little background on Lawbreakers.
All right. So, Lawbreakers is an FPS by Cliff Blazinski. It says Boss Key Productions, indicates that it's very good. I've been hearing a lot of my friends talk about saying it's very good, and I like. I'd take what these guys say to heart. I would believe them on a recommendation like that. It's just from what I've seen, it doesn't look like a game like for me. It looks a lot like an Overwatch type of scenario. Although I've not played it, these guys wanted me to do it, and they wanted me to play the beta with them, and I just was not on board with it. I heard Joey, Evan, and Fernando all playing it a couple nights ago, and they all seem to be enjoying it. And a lot of people seem to enjoy the game as well. But what I have also been seeing is that the stats for this game, its player base, are extremely low. So it's a good game, but it's just not a lot. There's not a lot of public interest in it, which leads me to believe that it's maybe this market, this type of game is being oversaturated, because we had Battleborn, we had Paladins, Overwatch.
Yeah, Paladins was definitely one.
Paladins was one of them.
I mean, Siege.
I wouldn't even. It's a game where they're like alts.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
A bit more MOBA.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean-
an FPS MOBA.
I mean, even okay. I know this isn't in the same realm. But
Mhm.
I'm just saying. Even a game like Call of Duty, actually, like, you know how they have like the creative class thing.
Yeah.
Now they're doing a thing where you can actually pick characters that have their own ultimate. They actually have ultimates in Call of Duty, at least in Infinite Warfare. So
That's
the thing.
fucking stupid.
Yeah. I
Isn't that what kill streaks always were, technically?
I mean,
no, because kill streaks you could use them no matter what, but like supers and all that shit,
Yes,
it's
but
tied
you had to earn it.
But
Yeah,
no
but
matter they're
kill streaks are an ult.
this is how I think about it. This is how I think about it.
So
Kill
reward for
streaks-
doing well.
Yes, it is a reward for doing well, but ultimates charge over time.
yeah. Oh no, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. With the
So
kill
you
streak-
could literally be doing shit the entire match, and your ultimate will still be charging.
I mean, they had death streaks for that.
Yeah, but the death streaks were like last stand, juggernaut.
That was like your last line of fucking defense.
And what was the other one? Martyrdom, right?
No,
You drop a grenade after you get
Yeah, like that's like in it. All right, let's be honest. Like death streaks, I'm gonna push Lawbreakers off to the side. Death streaks is literally Activision and Infinite.
back for being
It's the you participated ribbon. It's the you tried star of the game. That's what it is.
correct.
If you are playing Call of Duty and you're on a death streak and you get death, they are giving you the pat on the back. They are saying you've tried your best. Good job. Go back out there and have fun.
You know what's worse than getting a death streak?
I just made.
Off a death streak.
I made myself really sad because now that I think about it, I've had death streaks in Call of Duty. Like, I don't know. I just made myself really sad. Like,
Entire matches.
like
Scott, you tried.
it is. It's the you tried. It's the you tried ribbon. Oh my god. But I digress. Lawbreakers. Fernando.
Yeah.
So yeah, so real quick, I'm looking at CNBC. You were right, Scott. Holy shit! Wow. We're gonna talk later on.
What is he right about?
Ghost Recon Wildlands being the most successful game of 2017 so far.
And you know what's under that?
What?
Disappointing.
For Honor.
Really? I thought isn't Piranha's player base still fairly small?
Yes.
Okay. Something's up with this list because I don't see no numbers here.
Most of the big games, though, typically release holiday.
I still would like.
Well,
to
this
see
is year to date
duel.
for now.
What a time to be alive, boys. What a time to be
There's something
alive.
fishy about this because I feel like they're not including digital sales somewhere with some of these. But whatever. I digress. This isn't what we were talking about. Wow. So Lawbreakers, yeah. So Scott said first-person shooter, yada yada. For those that don't know, Cliff Bedinky is.
Blazinski.
Dinky.
Badinky.
It's about as well as I pronounce Jeff's last name. But continue.
I'm not sure what his main role, but long story short, he is a major figure in the Gears of War franchise
I'm about
/
to say.
Epic Games.
Cliffy B.
He pretty much broke off, and now he made this game. And let me pull up some numbers for you right here. So Lawbreakers just came out about this week. Actually, came out, and it first peaked in 7,500 players. This is back in June during a beta. The game had an open beta in July, 4,500 players on Steam, so it almost cut in half. In the launch, 3,000 peak players. So
I mean, that's not free though.
yeah, okay. So there's a couple things that's one of them. This game, the betas are free, and this game, when it came out, it isn't. But that is concerning though. A game, I mean, maybe it's not that concerning because I don't know. For me, maybe for you too, Scott.
What's
For
up?
me especially, I've kept my eye on this game for a while, and I thought this was gonna be a bigger game. But as Scott said, there's saturation. There's a lot of shit. But what I wanted to also bring up was what Cliff said, because Cliff actually he talked about this in a recent interview that I'm glad happened a couple hours ago from PC Gamer. He mentioned he's actually not too worried that this is more of a marathon and not a sprint. That's his quote. And I think what he's meaning by that is look at a game like Siege. That game flopped when it came out. It really did shit. It wasn't a lot of people playing. But over the months and years, that game has grown and grown and grown, and it's probably Ubisoft's biggest game right now. Let's be honest, like biggest,
I
shooter.
have a couple points to argue why it's doing like relatively better than it was, and mostly because of it's a Tom Clancy game, so you're gonna get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Two, it's Rainbow Six, which is a very much an established franchise.
Yeah.
The third part is probably Because it's an emphasis on it's more a competitive game. As much as I don't want to admit it, it's definitely more aimed towards a competitive audience.
Yeah, I think Cliffy.
If
That's
that
what he
if
wants
all
to
that
pursue.
makes sense to the point.
No, it does. I agree with you actually on that. I think Cliffy B wants this to be competitive as well, but again, every developer and their mother wants their game to be competitive.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. Why can't a game just be multiplayer and just be fun? But that's besides the point. So I wanted to bring up some of the points he brought up, and I actually wanted to get your guys' take on this too. So I'll just read off a little quote he said. I'd rather be the underhyped game that slowly ramps up something into something that people adored and something that comes out with way too much hype. Then there's backlash for it, which is why I think the Steam reviews are so positive. And if you keep going through this, so here are a couple reasons why he thinks the game is doing wrong. I want to get your take on it. He said that the Lawbreakers public alpha was a mistake. It didn't really represent the full game because there was a lot of, I guess, bugs. It just wasn't working properly. So that kind of got people to not like the game as much anymore. Number two, I followed this game for a long time. Apparently, this game was originally intended to be a free-to-play game, and you know how a lot of people think about free-to-plays. They think free-to-plays equal shit because most of the time they are. And he thinks that decision, that announcement, hurt the community a lot, and a lot of people turned their eye away from
I
it.
do think that aided in it because I remember you telling me that it was free to play.
Yeah, he made an announcement saying our game's free to play, but then over time they're like, no, you know what, fuck that, we're gonna charge our game.
Mhm.
And I feel like by then it was too late for certain people.
Yeah, is
You know.
because I said this in the Discord, but I feel like it warrants being said here in the podcast. There's a certain connotation that derives from saying something is free to play. You know what I mean? It's like what I'm gonna ask you guys in a second what comes to mind when you think free to play, whether it be good or bad. I want your honest opinions. I want to, and yeah, continue.
He actually he even brings that up. Like he regrets saying that because of the main reason a lot of people have the connotation that free to play games mean microtransactions and shit. And that's when I heard he was doing a free to play game, I got really upset because I want that to happen. But a part of me thinks that wasn't the intent. But either way, the community is small. But this is one of those games I feel like over time it could grow. Sure, Lawbreakers isn't established. Sure, it's a new IP. It's an indie-ish studio, but it can grow if they support it well enough.
Yeah.
So I think, and again, a lot of reviews came out for this game, and a lot of them are saying it's pretty good. The thing about the game, and this I guess is also a little review segment too. I don't mean to go on a tangent, but the game is maybe Scott, you can say it too, but the game is a fun game. It doesn't. It feels like every other game though. It feels like a typical shooter. It doesn't have like its own unique flair. It
From
feels like
the gameplay that I've seen, it gives me a very Quake vibe, a very Unreal
yeah.
kind of feel, which which is fine. Arena shooters are coming back. I'm totally for that. I have never really gotten into arena shooters before in the past, like Quake Arena or stuff like that.
Yeah, so exactly. This game is more like that. But it's also the main quirk for this game is anti-gravity. There's certain portions of the map where if you run, you can kind of move in a full 3D space, not just left, right. You can move, like pretty much float in the air and fight. It's pretty cool. But I wanted to just get your guys' takes pretty much on this, and like I think this game's really good, and it sucks it's not doing super hot, like the game Super Hot. But
Good meme.
it could grow. You know,
Good meme.
that's potential.
All
Like
right.
Cliffy does say.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think when you hear free to play game, whether it be good or bad?
Shit.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start myself, and this is it's probably gonna start off bad, but this is what I usually think. I know, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. When I hear free to play, I honestly think survival game. I think not fully flunked out user interface, and I usually think green light or in essentially development hell. That's three things that I think of. All right, Jeff, what do you think of? Whether it be good, but let me say one. Let me say one good thing at least. And this is sad, but it's really the only thing I can really think of. But user accessibility, because it is free.
Okay, when I think of free to play, I go back and forth between Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. I forgot that game even existed.
Exactly.
Oh my god,
So
Jeff.
did everyone who played it. So yeah, that's Yeah.
That's literally like that's a very good like two ends of the spectrum.
exactly.
It's like a game that was but Team Fortress wasn't free to play at first. So we got to keep that in mind.
But
I
it's been
do
for quite a long time.
I do see what you're going for.
There's
all
a
right.
dichotomy there.
Yeah. Patrick.
Well, when I think of free to play, let's see. I think of probably Flash based or a simple like engine. I think of a pay block, so not all the content is accessible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Either a pay block or microtransactions. The game isn't completely free to play.
Yeah.
Or if it's not free to play, then it's pay to win.
Yes.
So, like what I'm playing right now, RuneScape. It's one of the better examples of free to play because its free to play is actually somewhat decent, but its pay to play definitely just dwarfs its free to play.
All right. I asked Jeff. I didn't ask you, Fernando. What do you usually think?
When I think of where it came from, I just think, I feel like.
Repeat that one more time. Repeat that one more time.
When I think of it, I think of the origin, which yes, there's Team Fortress 2 games that are free, but I mainly think of mobile.
Mhm.
I also think of, again, like everybody else, microtransactions.
Mobile was not the introduction to free to
No,
play.
no. That's what I was saying. It wasn't, but it kind of blew up to the point where now, like.
Did you never get on a Flash Games website? What are you
No,
talking?
no.
This is sacrilege.
You know what? You're right. Yeah, I played Flash games all the time. I know. You're right. But I guess they made free to play games shit because that was all just microtransactions. That's what I mainly think.
Free to play games used to be litty too titty.
Yeah, they used to be really good. I also think ads too.
All right.
I don't think anyone brought that up. Certain games have ads and free. And my whole thing is, the whole thing with microtransactions too, is that I actually think it's not even free to play games anymore. Every fucking game has microtransactions, whether you pay $0 or you pay $60. Like Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, Ubisoft just did an update in the middle of their Operation Health season, which was meant to fix the game. They, in the middle of it, did a patch to add microtransactions. Then again, they've had it before, but what's the
More
right
accessible.
word?
They made it
bigger. Made it more of a focus.
Yeah.
So any game that has a loot crate system has microtransactions. So.
Or a cosmetics system.
Yeah.
Almost all cosmetics are.
Cosmetic, yeah. They're in some games even do pay to win. Battlefront, but you know, that's.
All right. So that I'm glad I got everybody's opinion. And I want to state, if you guys do feel differently about free to play games, I would honestly like to hear your reasons why. But a lot. And it could be because we're around each other so much that because we all share a lot of the same opinion to an extent, that our views are kind of the same on it. It's more negative, not more positive. But
Hey, I love free to play.
all right, I see. Yeah. Patrick's like, yeah, you play RuneScape, so it makes sense. But it's really about it when I think of free to play. It's not usually not very good. That's really all I have to say about it. Damn, it's got mad quiet.
I don't
mean,
have much to say in this regard. Like,
All right.
I mean, send us all. Well, no, we got one last.
I
segment.
normally have a lot to say, but as far as Lawbreakers is concerned, I don't know shit about the game.
Here, I'll say something.
I was in the middle of saying something.
It didn't sound like you were, but continue.
I don't have much to say about the game, like I said, 'cause I don't know much about it. But when it comes to free to plays, you gotta think like, what kind of support do the developers have? Like, it's from a developer who has a very strong history. Typically, free to plays with developers with histories like that. I mean, Lawbreakers isn't a free to play after all, but I feel like it would have worked.
I mean,
Because-
I don't want to cut you off, Jeff. Continue.
No, that was the end.
All right. I was gonna say it's more. I feel like if the developer isn't directly shoved into your face of it, like as much as a meme as this is, Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid 5,
God.
just the name Hideo Kojima on the title, like it means like it's. I feel like that also adds to sales. So if it said like Cliff Bleszinski, creator of the Gears of War franchises Lawbreakers or whatever like that, and a small header or whatever, as it might detract from the overall feel of the game, but I feel like something like that would add to it, like Cliff Bleszinski's Lawbreakers. Because then people are like, oh, Cliff Bleszinski, yeah, he did Gears of War. I like Gears of War. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what I was gonna say is anybody has the money, I would suggest you try it out. It's a fun game. I think it's really good. It has a lot of potential. I really enjoy it. As someone who really liked Overwatch but now kind of hates it, that game's a nice breath of fresh air. A fresh of breath air.
All right, I think we can end this cast. It's just if you guys have anything else to add, a rapid review. I haven't really played anything besides Deus Ex this week.
That's the same for me, but except instead of Deus Ex, it's RuneScape.
Well,
I've been playing 2 games this week mainly.
What did I do last week?
You talked about
Beat it probably.
hackathon. No, not hackathon. You know the thing.
No, yeah, I talked about DreamHack. I'm talking about for rapid review. Oh, I do have a couple stories real quick to tell about Smash stuff if we have time, or I can hold it.
you could give it a shot. Yeah. I'm gonna start wrapping stuff up though, so just keep.
Alright. I'll just tell one real quick. So, a few weeks back, I think a couple months back, there was a Smash Fest that doubled as a Smasher's 21st birthday party.
Lit.
He went out with his family and had a couple shots of tequila with his family. So I go pick him up, drive back, and like I get back, everything is fucking chaos. Like when I leave, everyone's just chilling. It was the same week. It was the weekend of Evo. Everyone was chilling, watching Evo, playing some Smash. I come back, everybody's fucking half or fully drunk, fucking falling all over the place. I was like, I'm gone for like a half an hour. Like by the end of the night, we had people fucking. All right, I had to keep half of the goddamn Smash community alive.
Life support boys.
One of them, he beat a top player once, and like he's just fucking gone. Like I'm force feeding him water and bread through the crack in the bathroom where I forced the door open because he's stuck between the bathroom and the door in the toilet.
Oh my god.
And like eventually we managed to get him up onto the toilet. Already shat his pants.
Oh Jesus Christ.
And he just goes, if I can beat top player, confidentiality. If I can beat top player, I can beat alcohol. I am ascended, and then immediately puked all over the floor.
Nice.
Like fucking frame 1.
Frame 1 puke.
I just look over at Rusky because it was his house, and I'm just like, "You're cleaning that up." Okay, so eventually we get him showered, his pants and underwear in the wash. So we wrap him in a towel and send him off to bed in Rusky's bed, and then we send Rusky in to check on him, and he just goes, "The towel came off," and
Oh my
and
god.
fucking one of the other guys just looks at him and he says, "His dick is all over your bed right now." And then later, I was just like, "Yo, you should probably go check on him." And he's like, "Nah, he's fine." And I was like, "Yeah, but he might not be fine."
Yeah.
What if I was like, "What if he threw up in your bed?" And I was like, "Worst case scenario, what if he had a wet dream in your bed?"
Oh my god.
And he's just like, "Oh god, I'm going to check on him right now. I'll be right back." Yeah, that was
Gross.
a goddamn adventure. There were 4 other people throwing up. Fucking somebody just immediately fucking. He's just, okay. So what happened was, 3 of them were like, "I'm gonna do 10 shots in a row. You watch." And
You will
everybody
fucking
was trying to
die.
one-up each other. They kept trying to one up each other. So all of them who did this were just fucking dying. They were falling like flies. One of them was just like, I had to help him in the bathroom so he could throw up. He's like, I can't see. And I was like, that's because you're not wearing your glasses, dumbass. And he's just like, oh, yeah.
10 shots.
Fucking
Jesus
Another one just
Christ.
immediately passed the fuck out, like he was dead. And so I hear that he woke up at 6 o'clock the next morning and started throwing up.
Nice.
Why can
Fucking-
people not handle their alcohol?
I don't know.
Okay, even if they could handle their alcohol, 10 shots within 3 minutes,
Yeah,
that will fuck anybody
that'll
up.
kill you.
Pussy shit.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I'm gonna
Coming from you, Patrick.
I'm gonna end it.
All right.
I'm gonna end it.
You
Send do the
haven't- Yeah.
before this turns into a who can drink more alcohol dick measuring contest. Anyone want to do rapid review?
I have something.
I do.
All right, you two.
All
Alright,
so
you guys
I guess
ready?
I'll start. Yeah, I guess I'll start.
Yeah, go now.
For Wayback Machine this week, after a bevy of technical issues, I started playing Chibi Robo for the Nintendo GameCube. That shit got real quick. Dad be sleeping on the
15
couch.
seconds.
She kicked his ass out. All in all, though, it's a pretty fun game. I'll give it 8 tiny robots out of 10 big robots.
That,
I like your rating system.
wow. Wait,
Eight out of
that's
100
really
out
shit.
of 10.
I like your rating system.
That,
One tiny robot is worth about 99% of a big robot.
One
Okay.
micro centimeter of a big robot.
slightly conduced robot.
Here's the thing: to make tech smaller, it costs more money. I'd like to point that out.
Not if you're just smashing it with a compressor.
All right, Fernando, go.
So I've been playing 2 games. One of which is on PS4.
One of what? It cut
One
out.
of- oh, okay, sorry. One of them's Horizon Zero Dawn, which is PS4. It's a open world RPG featuring big, humongous robot dinosaurs. It's really cool. I'm in the
Lit.
beginning of it, but it's pretty much like any open world RPG. It's kind of like The Witcher, not as
10
crazy as
seconds.
The Witcher, but it's a good game. I give it 5 out of 5 shekels. In Crash,
Is
I
it
played
combat
2.
like The Witcher?
It is.
Because if it's
kind of.
combat like The Witcher, then it's not worth buying.
It's better. It's better than that combat in The Witcher, but then again, that's not saying a lot.
He's just telling you what you want to hear, Patrick. I hope you know that.
I am very well aware of that.
The
It's
combat
whatever
in that
you
game is
want.
The combat in that game is better than The Witcher, but the Breath of the Wild has better combat than both. If that gives you an idea of how good it is.
So in layman's terms, Patrick, it's whatever you want, man. Whatever will make you happy, I got you.
Hey, why don't you buy it? There you go.
Drugs,
No.
Fernando?
All right, before this turns into a trap discussion, thank you guys for coming out
Hey,
to the
why
Weird
would
Kids.
I be selling drugs?
Thank you for coming out to the Weird Kids podcast,
Anything you got will make me happy.
I mean, why does that have
episode
to be,
15.
Why does it have to be drugs? Why can't it be a body part?
Get out.
This is your boy Scott saying, have a good night. Take it easy in peace.
Check up in arms and push plug.
I think you stopped it by that point.
No, I didn't. Now I'm stopping it.
Still. Oh.